a broadcasting legend in his own mind. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right, happy Sunday, Funday. Welcome to Football Sunday, everyone. Awesome. Lots of fun yesterday. College football is really taking off. But we'll hold off on the college football for tomorrow because, as you know, a lot happened yesterday. So we'll pass that off. Today's Sunday, Funday. We're talking NFL. We got your girls' go-to fantasy consultant, Stizz. How you doing today? And of course,
great.
Moneybags himself, Nevada Nick, with us.
Yeah, another jackpot hit last night, Coach. I got a horseshoe up my ass right now, and Stizz can confirm it. He was there.
Dollar bill, y'all.
That's right.
Killing it.
Yep. That's awesome this morning. So Nevada Nick on a little bit of a roll. We'll get into that. He's got some games for everyone. And Stizz obviously has his fantasy as it gets a little tougher and tougher as this COVID thing just now popped up. Thanks to Chris Lentz. I was about to call him Wentz, but pops up. Probably could play a little better quarterback these days than Wentz. We'll just post it up on the Facebook page that the Tennessee Titans got another positive test. So they have to go 3 days. They only went 2. Now they got a positive. That brings the total up to 24. So that's
wow.
Yeah, and Goodell sent out a memo basically saying they want to play all 265 games in 17 weeks. And I think that's just unrealistic right now. I really do. I understand he wants these guys to kind of learn from the lessons right now and follow protocol. But, even following protocol, things can happen. You know what I mean? You pump gas in your car and somebody had it there at the gas tank, or there's so many unknowns that you can follow protocol. So unless you're basically staying in your house and not doing anything, what else can you really do? And right. I think Goodell, he really better start thinking about extending the league minimum 2 weeks, I think, just to give it some buffer. And look, obviously you're going to want to make sure everybody's playing those last 2 weeks. If you want to take the Sunday now and move it back 2 weeks and then give 2 buffer weeks in between, but they're gonna need to do something, because you look already about the Broncos game. Luckily, next week the Patriots have a bye, so they'll play the Broncos next week, and the Broncos-Miami game gets moved. But I guess Miami will have a bye then next week, and then they'll play. But it's eventually they're gonna run out of room. You know what I mean? Stizz mentioned last week that one of these teams, like the Titans, maybe they get a positive again. Then what are you gonna do? So
they die.
That's the girl who beat him last week.
That's her. She had to get on. I'm surprised she didn't say anything about that. On the sidelines.
Stizz down. And Stizz
at
7. Another L on Friday too. It's tough. You could see he wasn't enjoying it.
No.
At least you won something, Stizz. When it comes to cornhole, man, I'm 0 for life.
Yeah, it's okay. I'd rather win money.
Yeah, I got that going for me.
Stizz, let me ask you. I heard a rumor that you were the guy in the behind the scenes in the State Farm commercial, throwing the cornhole.
That was me. Yeah. I put on the Mahomes jersey, and I was throwing them behind my back, over my shoulder hook shots. Last 2 weeks, though, I can't brag, unfortunately. I've been shooting real bad, and I criticize myself for sure, but I'll get back to it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you want to shoot him with the Eagles first, Coach? What do you want to do?
Yeah, you want to go Eagles first. We can.
That
Let's
works.
keep that going.
Yeah.
We're
So
here. Let's just put it out there, right up off the bat. I mean,
Let's talk. Let's talk.
yeah. I mean, I think they can win. I don't think they will, but I think they can win. But they really could have used Jeffrey and Jackson back this week just to give Carson Wentz something. I mean, you saw it last week, and once again, Doug's not running the ball. And, with that banged up offensive line, the best thing you can do is help them feel a little more comfortable by running the ball and helping out Carson Wentz a little bit. And Doug just doesn't want to do it. I don't understand it. But look, I said they would win last week. They won last week. It was definitely a better game. They're now in first place. I think today's going to be a close game. I really do. I think their defense can slow down the Patriots, the Steelers' offense. But I just think that defense is going to be way too much for the Eagles' offense. I really do. I'm seeing like a 17-13, 17-10 type game. Steelers win. And, yeah, I agree, Mike. Mike was saying it last week, too. He needs to run the ball. I mean, Miles Sanders wasn't doing bad last week. He just doesn't want to give him the ball. You got to help your team out, and you got to keep that defense fresh. I mean, they looked good last week, but, and look, there's too much pressure on Carson. I mean, Greg Ward's his number one receiver, guys. Greg Ward. And I like Greg Ward as a complimentary player, as your third or fourth receiver.
He's not a number one.
No, not at all. I mean, he's a nice guy as a safety valve to have on third down. He does catch the ball a lot. He's got good hands. I like him like that. He's like I would call him like a poor man's Jason Avant. That's what he is. Well, basically can catch you some third downs, good hands, reliable. But other than that, he's not doing anything down the field. And, I mean, you could see last week, Ertz is really frustrated. I think teams were saying, take him out of the game. You know what I mean? Because that's Carson's safety valve. Take him out. And it's Greg Ward. And I can't even remember the guy's name that freaking scored a touchdown last week in the long touchdown. Does anybody here remember? Because I don't. I don't even know who the hell he was.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so did I. So do I, because
I'm glad because I was just going to bring that up. I mean, if he doesn't want to throw the football, then at least he's got to get into the screen game and throw some bubbles or something.
Well, and Miles Sanders is their best weapon. I mean, right now he's their best weapon by far. You got to get him involved in the game. And Stizz knows too. Last week he missed Miles Sanders' feet for what would have been a long 40-yard play. And the week before, he had Sanders wide open for a touchdown, and they'd have won that Bengals game, and Carson missed them. And, look, that's on Carson, but I just think there's so much pressure on him. You're getting one or two opportunities a game. That's it. And it's like you got to make the play, or else, there's no other opportunities. There's just not much there right now for the Eagles. But yeah, like I said, I expect a low-scoring game. Steelers defense is the best defense in football. Them and the Colts. I don't see how unless they get a turnover, or some kind of big play on special teams. I think it's going to be tough for them. There you go. Thanks, Mike Fulgham.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think that's going to be their only chance to win is if they get some kind of turnover or start the game and get ahead and let that defense play. Because, look, man, they lead the league in sacks. I'm sure they're going to get to Ben. Obviously, I think they'll put Slay on Schuster. So we'll see. But, they're banged up. They got some injuries on defense, too. Their best linebacker, TJ Edwards, who's actually played pretty good. I don't know if he went out last week. I'm not sure if he's playing this week. So, and what Brian said, I'm hoping, because that's obviously how they're going to win, is on defensive side of the ball.
I think that's the only way they win, to tell you the truth.
You know what? I was just going to say that, Stizz. I think that's the only way that defense has to come up. And because, look, Pittsburgh, you're playing against the top three defense in the league. I mean, so.
And don't forget, with a week off to prepare. They were forced into a bye week last week, Pittsburgh.
Right. So it wasn't really a bye week because they practiced. They didn't get the days off like you normally would in a bye week because they were preparing for a game. I mean, obviously, it changed, but and they moved on to the Eagles. So they had a little bit extra time to prepare. And I wouldn't be surprised if they really take advantage of that.
And they better watch out, too, because last week the Niners had no Bosa, no D Ford, no Solomon Thomas. TJ Watt's coming after you this week. Yeah. And you got the young tackle playing Jordan Malatai, who was a rugby player. He's a beast, big dude, 6'8", but still, well, let's not forget what happened Thursday night when the rookie played Khalil Mack. And he's looked good all year, Tristan Wirfs. And Mack let him know, basically, welcome to the league, buddy.
Who's your dad? The one play that sticks out in my mind is Khalil Mack took him by one hand and hip tossed him. Mm-hmm. Took his 358-pound ass and flip tossed him onto the ground, you know, and just said, hey, welcome to the league, little boy, and so we'll get into Khalil Mack a little bit more on Monday because I'm sure there's somebody on Monday's show that doesn't want to hear what I have to say about it.
Well, I can't think and call him 50 who. But they're complaining about Trent Brown, the $66 million you gave him. Who'd you rather have right now, Trent Brown at $66 million or Khalil Mack at $100? And look, I understand the trade worked out. I'm not, but still, Khalil Mack would help that defense. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
And Steelers too. Let's not forget Bud Dupree as well on defense. So and then they'll send some exotic blitzes. Always got to find out where Minkah Fitzpatrick is. They can send him sometimes. So the Eagles have a tall order today, and I really think it's going to be run the ball, play defense, try to hold the ball as long as you can, long drives, 3rd and short, not 3rd and 7 or 8, where that, they can pin their ears back and kind of just tee off on defense. Doug's going to – I keep saying it, they got lucky last week. They could have lost that game, and it was a game they should have won. So hopefully Doug runs the ball today.
He's got to stick in the game, which he hasn't, as of yet, unfortunately. No. Pittsburgh's going to come after him big time. And, they're going to get Wentz all rattled up. Wentz hasn't looked good when he's all rattled up and running around for his life. I do like Deontay Johnson and Juju today. I think they're going to have monster games. I know last week we were all pretty much wrong on last week's game. Nevada had the Eagles winning. My buddy Steve Ebinger, he had the Eagles winning, I think, 88-2, Coach? Was that his prediction? Not quite, but he did get the win on that. But I just don't see how they beat the Steelers team with these receivers coming back healthy now. Deontay Johnson coming off a concussion protocol. He's healthy. Juju was a little banged up a couple weeks ago. He's coming back in healthy. I don't know, man. It's a tall order to stop, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's going to be. So, hopefully, like I said, you got to get back to some fundamentals and kind of pump things back 100%. A little bit. And I think Doug just isn't ready to concede that yet. And that's the biggest problem.
The one positive, though, is they're in the NFC East. So even if they lose, the worst they're going to be is a half a game back. They got to get healthy. You can't deny that a part of the reason they're struggling is, Goddard, man, when you have him, he's a big weapon for Wentz. Even Jeffrey, he's a tall guy in the red zone on 3rd down that you can use. And then Jackson's speed, but once again, why Howie went into this year counting on those guys when they missed all last year anyway. And it's really tough, too. Let me bring up once again, we don't know what Jalen Reagor is. But, all the Eagles fans were screaming for Justin Jefferson. And go look what he's doing in Minnesota right now, looking really good while Rager's hurt. So, he would have looked good, if they had him. He had 7 for 175 2 weeks ago, had another big week next week. So, freaking Eagles, man. It's crazy. Hopefully they can get healthy. And like I said, you're never out of it in the NFC East. So if they can get healthy here, maybe they can somehow figure a way to win the NFC East.
Brian trying to get me in trouble, Coach. Trying to get me in trouble.
Now, Coach, what do you got with the Giants today playing the Cowboys?
Well, my biggest question is this right now: Can the Giants' offense score a TD? Because you look at last week's game, that defense made a mistake at the end of the game and gave up that touchdown. Which the final drive, you're playing for a field goal and not a touchdown. But come on, you haven't scored a touchdown in 3 games now. You're going on 3 games without a touchdown. I think it was the Bears game was the last time you scored a touchdown. So what's going to happen? And Daniel Jones and these daggone interceptions and turnovers. It's got to come to a stop here. And I think what's the plus is it's Dallas. Dallas can't stop a piece of paper right now from blowing down the field. You know what I'm saying? So right. I think that helps. I think it helps that the Giants can maybe establish a running game and get that running game going. Now another week with that running back and get him more acclimated. I think it helps them out being a one cut back and then having Barkley back there. So we'll be. Yeah, I think the Dallas coach is on the hot seat already because everybody blamed Garrett. It was Garrett. Garrett was the guy. They can't win. They have to get rid of Garrett so they can win. Yeah. Well, guess what? You still have the same problems. It's not Garrett. It's Jerry Jones. It's Jerry Jones.
No, it is. And, I was going to say, I said going into this year, now, look, they're worse than I thought. But I said, you go draft CeeDee Lamb when that defense was the problem last year.
Right.
And you lose Byron Jones, your number one corner. It made no sense. And the guys they are paying on defense, DeMarcus Lawrence and Jalen Smith, aren't getting it done. They're not getting it done. And you don't pay a linebacker $60 million unless he's you're a 3-4 defense and he's the rush linebacker. Yeah, exactly. You don't give a linebacker that much money. It's Jerry Jones. And look, Mike McCarthy may be one and done. There's a ton of pressure on Nolan right now. I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't get the hire. Obviously, McCarthy got to start in the league as an offensive coordinator for the 49ers under Nolan. So I think he was kind of doing a buddy a favor. But you're with the Cowboys where all eyes are on you. It's America's team.
But you know what? Hey, look, Nolan was a defensive coordinator for the Giants for a while. He did very well there. The Giants were playoff contending. He had a good defense with the Giants. He went there before the he went to the Giants. Then that was before his stint at San Francisco.
Right.
So I really think the guy's good. But again, you got to remember, there was a defensive coordinator there for a couple of years before that, and he's got his guys there. And he's trying to change a defense around. And a lot of times you saw that with the Giants when that defensive coordinator they had coming over from Arizona was a top 5 defense every year he was in Arizona. He comes to the Giants. He doesn't have the pieces. They don't get the pieces. And it's really hard to fix the defense. And here you go. And it's unfortunate that, it's win now or go home. And, guys are on the hot seat week 4 into their tenure without a preseason, without all that stuff to get guys acclimated to doing their job. So,
well, and you know what, too? Everybody wants to blame the defense, and that's definitely the biggest problem. But once again, too, early turnovers have really been bad for them. And in 2 games, they had back-to-back turnovers where, you're putting the defense on short fields. I think Mike McCarthy's made some bad decisions. He went for it on 4th down twice in their own zone. Right. And that was the Falcons game. He's made some bad decisions. But look, man, he might be one and done. And, because there's a lot of talent there. That offense is really, really good. If you could just get that defense somewhat doing a bend but don't break, I mean, look, man,
Right.
if there was
Stop somebody.
even if
that's
they
the
were
big
given
thing.
28 a game, they'd be undefeated. I think they've scored almost 30 points every game, pretty much.
Yeah. They're giving up. They're giving up over 38 points a game.
Oh yeah, right.
So, and that's the thing. Can the Giants fix their offense and score some touchdowns against this defense?
Right.
Or is this defense going to fix themselves against this offense? And that's kind of the matchup today. Who's gonna fix them? Who's righting the ship today? The Dallas defense or the Giant offense? And that's going to be really the game plan here.
Right.
And then you go back to what defense is a Giant defense that showed up against the 49ers showing up today, or is it the team last week that held one of the most high-powered offenses to 17 points?
Yeah. No. Yeah. And one thing, Coach, just get out of the Cowboys. The Giants and Eagles quick. That you need to keep an eye on too. Lamar Jackson didn't practice this week. Now they say he's going to play. It's not a big deal. But this is what we've all talked about with Lamar Jackson, that running the ball so much and playing the style he's playing, eventually he's going to get hurt. And with that team, I know they got RG3 as the backup. RG3 is not Lamar Jackson. Right. And there's going to be a huge drop-off. And that team, plus you're going to lose. That rushing game is helped so much by the fact that Lamar Jackson can take it and run. That possibility holds those defensive ends. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's going to be, I would really watch that if I was Harbaugh, because that team, if you lose Lamar Jackson, they're a 500 team. I mean, that's how much he means to that team. And, they got to get him throwing the ball more and figuring that out, because no matter what, they're never going to win in the playoffs until he can throw the ball on third down. And when a pass is coming, he can make plays. And it just seems like unless they get up on you and get a lead, they can't come from behind. And they kind of got to find a way to fix that, because, you got to have comeback wins in the NFL.
Right. And I don't know if I said this on the show last week or I was talking to somebody, but, I equate the Baltimore offense to the wing T offense of high school. They're the wing T because that is an offense that is built for you to take a lead and just keep chewing the clock up. Because once you get from behind, you can't throw the football. It is very tough to throw the football. And, it is so it's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on. And the other game that I want to keep my eye on as well will be the Washington Redskins, who benched their quarterback for virtually a no-name, a guy that, let's be honest, he came in to play in Carolina last year and did absolutely nothing.
Well, he started good. He started good, and then they kind of got film on him. But a part of that, I think, Coach, is he knows that system. He was in their system for 3 years. But, no, I agree. I don't understand why they're yanking Dwayne Haskins, because I think it's more of the offense than Dwayne Haskins. I think if he was in a better situation, it might be different. But I think they're looking at it and saying, you know what? We could win the division here. That their defense is good enough with Kerrigan and Chase Young and the defense they got, that if they can get some play out of the quarterback, that maybe this team could win a division. And it's not out of you never know.
You're right. It's not out of, and you really saw the difference in that defense without Chase Young playing.
Yeah, no, you did. You're right about that.
And don't forget, Kyle Allen last year had Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean, running the ball, which made him a little bit better in the beginning of the season. Well, he don't have nobody like that now. So, we're going to see. He is going to rely on that defense of Washington today, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Kerrigan and Chase Young, I know they wreaked havoc on Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, I think, in that game got sacked like 8 times. So, I mean, Washington can put pressure on you. And, look, that's the one thing that the Rams really struggle with, too. There he is. What's up, Jay? What's his garbage? Jay, he hasn't played good this year. I don't think he's had the tools around him, but you're 100% right. in the sense that when the plays need to be made, Carson hasn't made them. And, 2 turnovers every game and then 1 turnover again last week. Can't play that kind of football. He leads the league in turnovers. Can't do that. You got to protect the ball. I don't care who you're playing with.
Yeah.
You throw the ball away. You take the sack. And that's my biggest criticism of him is holding the ball too long and not taking what the defense giving him. He's always trying to make the big play. And sometimes just, chipping away, and getting, like I said earlier, the Eagles are a much better team when they're getting 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 than being in 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8.
Well, yeah, because they put the pressure on Wentz, and like you said, he just can't make the right decisions, unfortunately.
Right.
I want to put this up here. Look, Brian, go stick it out your ass. Man, okay? Listen, okay, the Giants defense isn't giving up 38 points a game, okay? Yeah. Okay, so how dare you think the Cowboys are going to score 37 points?
They are.
You fall down the steps and hit your head on every step on the way down this morning, you dumbass.
Brian loves needling Coach, man, and I love it. Coach with his Giants. I mean, he's still looking for his first win. And, Jay, what you said, I agree with you 100%. Jalen Mills was not working at safety. And they looked a lot better with him at corner last week. And they played the young kid, Epps, at safety. And he did all right. I mean, the defense, anybody who's watched the Eagles this year, I know San Francisco had some injuries, but the defense looked much better last week. And they got to play to that defensive line because that is the strongest unit on their team is that defensive line. Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson, Brandon Graham. Josh Sweat is having a real nice year. He's been playing well, so we got to play. We got to get that D-line going. Take the points last week with the Birds. He said not sure this week. Yeah, Steve that's the guy who called the 88-2, right?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Yeah. So me and Steve were the only 2 people in the country I think that liked the Eagles last weekend.
Yeah.
And we came through. I don't know about this week though. I think it's a tall order. It can happen though. Let's not forget the Steelers haven't lost yet. The Steelers are known to play down the competition. So maybe they come out and look flat. Ben doesn't have a good game, but I can tell you this: if the Steelers score 20 points, unless they have turnovers or something, I don't see a way the Eagles win. I really don't. I don't think the Eagles can score more than 17 to 20 points.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers score more than 20 points this week. I could see them getting 28 to 30 against this defense. I really do.
Yeah.
Right. I see the Giants scoring 36, 35, 38 points today.
Wow.
Okay? Wow. I don't see that.
I think it becomes a shoot. I think it's a shootout. I think the Giant defense doesn't hold up. I think it's a shootout. I hope they right the ship because I don't think that the Dallas defense can stop anybody that's going to help the Giants. But I also think the Giant defense isn't that good. They're going to face a really good offensive line. And
Coach, that's been part of the problem with the Cowboys. People forget Frederick retired in the offseason, their center, Pro Bowl center. He retired, Travis Frederick. Tyron Smith's now out for the year, their tackle. And so is Collins, too, the other tackle. So their 2 starting tackles are out and their center's out. So the Cowboys line isn't what it used to be. And that's another thing, too, which I said about McCarthy all along. McCarthy never ran the ball in Green Bay. And you got Zeke back there. So, keep that defense off the field at least. Let Zeke run the ball, feed Zeke. I understand they can throw the ball all over the field, but what's it doing for you? Right. Dak's throwing for 500 yards a game, but you're 1-3, and you should be goose egg. You should be 0-4. So maybe having some time of possession, running the ball a little bit. Now I understand they have been down, but still help your defense out a little bit.
Right.
They will not score that much in 2 games, and I agree with them too. Coach is so fired up. Look, Brian, you got to understand too. Coach is really hurting right now. The Yankees lost on Friday night. They couldn't score more than a stinking run. I had them myself. Very disappointed in that too. I mean, I'm not a Yankees fan, but I had money on them, so I wanted them to win. Plus, Captain, we wanted to see them beat Captain's alternate team So, the guys' alternate team all happened just to be number one seed somehow.
Yeah, captain's alternate team keep winning. The Lightning, his alternate hockey team.
Yeah.
So,
Now, Tommy, how much is
honestly, I think the Buccaneers are his alternate team because they're kind of Raiders.
No, he hates Brady. He hates Brady. He won't. The two goats, he refuses to call them by name. And then he says 50 who? Well, 52, Khalil Mack, one of the best defenders in the league.
Wait, I got this. Hold on. Ready? Because Tommy. Fuck you, Tommy Boucher.
That was classic that night.
That was dead on.
Yeah, that was classic. Tommy, we worked so hard that night to calm Captain down. Because Captain was pissed at me, man, for doing the blind Ed Hockey again. He was not happy. He didn't even play along with it for 10 seconds, man. He flipped down on me. It was not happy. And then he's finally calm, and then Tommy says this, and he's all calm, and all hears, fuck you, Tommy Boucher. And I'm like, oh. So it went south pretty damn quick.
Sure did.
Tommy, I said that this is the year of the Tampa teams. You might have the trifecta,
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think, of the three, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the weakest, though. Right. You saw it.
Absolutely.
Now, Tampa Bay played a bad game on Thursday night, ton of penalties, sloppy play. But, we talked about it. He loved going to play for Bruce Arians in the whole, right. He's not as crazy as Belichick is, and it's more open. But now you saw sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side. A ton of penalties that don't happen in New England, and he forgot it. He didn't know it was fourth down. That doesn't happen with Bill Belichick. Right. He was just so used to having Belichick and the situational football and everything just being taken care of for him. And now it's not. You can see Brady was yelling at the offensive lineman. He wasn't happy. So, it's a little bit different now, and they're 2-2. Stizz, did you want to say something?
But you know what, Nick? The Bucs were banged up too. Don't forget, no Leonard Fournette,
right.
No Chris Godwin. Does that make the difference? They only lost by a point.
Probably
it makes a difference. At least last week, anyway. Right.
And not to forget too, O.J. Howard too, who
and a hobbled Mike Evans, who did score that first touchdown, but you could tell he was hurt. Nowhere near 100%.
No.
So Brady's going with with banged up guys playing. So no excuse.
Right. But, and Scotty Miller was out of position too. Yeah. Scotty Miller was a slot receiver, and I bet him over 50 yards on Thursday night, just thinking that he with Howard out that he would try to hit him, and I noticed he was lining up outside, and it wasn't good. So, on Brady's wife, I don't understand how he says she's ugly. Giselle, whatever her last name is. I'm not. I think she's really thin. I'm not. Obviously, Nevada Nick isn't a guy who's going to fit with a thin girl. If you walked in with me and Giselle, you wouldn't see her. You would just see the bed. It looked like I was banging the bed. Giselle's so small. But I don't think
anyway, so it's no big deal.
You blend. You blend.
And per sources. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they said that. Yeah, and like I said, it's not good. Like like we said earlier, Goodell sent the memo out trying to tell these people, all follow protocol. We want to play all the games. I just don't know how realistic that is right now. We're going into wintertime, with the regular flu and all. We've actually seen some spike in cases, which it's weird because, the NFL up to week 3, it was like preseason to week 3. Now, initially in the preseason, obviously, when everybody came in, but it seemed really good. You weren't getting any positives. And then, boom, week 3 hits, and it was just like boom, boom, boom. And it's
Well, I think people started slacking a little bit. I think that's what it was. I think people started slacking and whatnot. I think it was baseball. We had that thing at the beginning of the season with baseball, and I think it's the same thing here. They'll right the ship and go. But I want to throw this out because Florida's opened up so they can have full stadium fans. Now Miami said thanks, but no thanks. They're going to stick with it. But the University of Florida is going to have 88,000 people at their stadium next week.
Really?
They're nuts.
They want a full stadium.
That's irresponsible, I think, right now. I mean,
well, look, here it is. You each their own. You make your decision. You want to go, you go. And every college game I watched yesterday, there was fans in the stands.
No, I know, but you could come to regret that.
So, and you know what? At some point, you got to live your life. I mean,
I agree with that. But throwing 88,000 people,
you're an adult, and if you don't want to go, stay home and watch it on TV. And if you want to go, go. I mean, that's the way I look at it. So it's completely your choice, and that's the way.
And if anybody contracts COVID, Coach Muddle is liable now because he said to give it a go. So you can find him at Coach Muddle at YouTube. Yeah, 2 D's, not 3. And anybody who contracts COVID at next week's Florida game in the Swamp, you could sue Coach Muddle for saying
no, you can't, because I didn't make the rule. That's the school's rule. That's the state of Florida. I have nothing to do with them. I'm just putting it out there. That's all.
Is that what you're doing, Coach?
I'm just informing I'm informing the viewership. I'm informing the viewership of the breaking news that's coming through. So.
That's great information.
Yeah, that's I don't think the NFL will do it, obviously. Now, it's funny. It's saying questionable for Chase Young as I watch ESPN right now. I thought he was definitely playing. So yeah, maybe they're just putting that up there. Freaking ESPN, you can't count on them for nothing. Right. But now, Stizz, do you want to get into a little bit of fantasy? Do you have any waiver wire guys you like this week? Or
yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a couple coming in here. One being Joshua Kelly, running back for the Chargers. Eckler, he's out 4 to 6 weeks now, and Joshua Kelly steps into the number 1 role. Justin Jackson is there too, but I don't think he's going to be a main factor these next couple of weeks. I think it's going to be more Joshua Kelly. Now, you may not want to start him this week. They play New Orleans Monday night, but the next few, he's got some real juicy matchups. He's got the Jets, he's got Miami, he's got the Jags, and he's got them Raiders. So I'm looking to maybe pick him up, stash him on your bench, wait till next week, and then just bang him away because I think he's a solid pickup. Another guy, same type deal. I don't think you could start him the next couple of weeks, but you stash him on your bench. His name's Dearness Johnson, plays for the Cleveland Browns running back. Nick Chubb, he's out 6 weeks now. Dearness Johnson came in last week. He had 13 carries, got a solid 95 yards, which is great. Kareem Hunt, I read this week, is still nursing that groin injury. So, there's your 1-2 punch again, maybe with this Dearness Johnson. Now, the next 2 games are against the Colts and Pittsburgh, 2 stout defenses. You don't want to play him against them 2. But after that, he's got Cincinnati and, again, the Raiders. So I think you plug him in against them 2 teams, and you go from there. So there's my 2 waiver wire pickups. Stash on your bench. Keep them solid. If you have to play them, play them. Yeah. Then we'll go from there.
And I'll tell you, I like Kelly. And look, the Saints defense has kind of struggled this year. Now they kind of, played better last week against the Lions, but, he might not even be a bad start this week. I saw him play last week. I like him. I think he's a good running back. And look, they're going to want to run look, I know they got all the receivers in the world, with out in San Diego. LA, but still, you're going to want to help that rookie QB by running the ball a little bit. You know what I mean? Sure. Let him feel comfortable. I know he's slinging it, but still, you want to try to help that, offense and also keep that defense off the field. I think that kind of hurt him last week against the Bucs. They were on the field so much. So, yeah, I definitely like Kelly from the Chargers. And the Browns, you can see it too. They don't want one running back. They want to run with 2, keep them fresh, keep them going in and out. Look, credit to the Cleveland Browns offensive line. They're playing well. You bring Jack Conklin over from the Titans. He looks good. Yeah, they're playing better, but I want to see more. The Browns haven't exactly played the best competition, beating Washington, beating Cincinnati, and beating Dallas. I think me, Coach, and Stizz could be offensive weapons and score some points on those defense. You know, they could put me at wide out, and I'll give you a nice little 5-yard out and right to the out and in and out burger right after I run the out too.
That's right.
Now, do you have any starts this week?
I do have a nice start that I really like this week is Mr. Teddy B. Teddy Bridgewater, Carolina Panthers. Lane is allowing the 4th most yards per pass attempt this year at 8.4, which is converted to 33 fantasy points a week for quarterbacks. That's a ton, man. We've seen Atlanta. They can't, like you said, they couldn't stop me, you, and Coach from getting through there. Even our 5-yard outs, hey, man, 20 of them were in the end zone. You know what I mean? No Rodgers, no Stafford this week. They're on bye. You may need a bye week replacement. Josh Allen is in question as well. So there's 3 quarterbacks. That's the hard thing about fantasy football, fellas. You know, not only do we have all these big name injuries, but now all this COVID going around, you don't know who's going to play and who's not going to play. So, you know, you're playing guys that you wouldn't normally play, and you're really playing matchups, which I think this one is a hot matchup with Teddy Bridgewater. And plus, don't forget, he's got some rushing upside too. So he'll get you 30, 35 yards rushing a game. So there's my start of the week.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I like him. I do. I agree with you. Now, do you have any sits this week, Stizz, that you're gonna sit? I saw one on ESPN, Matthew Berry really going out on a limb. Don't start Carson Wentz. I'm like, Stizz at least gives you ones that are. I mean, that's like saying don't take Nevada Nick and the Hunter. Oh, are you taking him? That's one of your guys.
Listen, I didn't listen to Matthew Berry at all, but yeah, that was a layup, and just
it is.
Go back on tape, anybody that's watching here, and just delete the last 2 sentences that Nevada Nick just said. All right, don't worry about Matthew Berry. Don't worry about Nevada Nick. I know maybe this isn't obvious, but yeah, sit of the week, Carson Wentz this week for me.
Okay.
He leads the league in interceptions at 7.
Yeah.
I mean, he's turning the ball all over the place. And don't forget he's going against top 3 defense. You know, he averages less than 20 fantasy points per game this year, which is bad for a quarterback. Quarterbacks, you know, should be around the 24 mark for an average quarterback, for a mediocre quarterback. And, you know, and he's got receivers that are coming out of 7-Eleven with their big gulps and their hot dogs. Tell them, put it down, get on the field, let's go. I'm throwing to you deep. All right. So yeah, Carson Wentz is my sit of the week.
This is taking the layup, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take the layup. I mean, it's obvious, but who knows, man? You know, these last 4 or 5 weeks. Listen, man, we put out guys that are starts and sits, and you play the matchups, but you just don't know. I mean, because the guys that you're supposed to sit have good games. The guys you're supposed to start shit the bed. So, I mean, I don't know. This is the year where it's just, everything's opposite.
Yeah.
Very hard to handicap.
Yeah, it is. And there's so many injuries too, Stizz. Like, I know with me, man, last week they had said for the Saints, Michael Thomas was looking like he was going to play. And then Saturday, I bet him, of course. Luckily, they hold, but then he doesn't play. And now he's still questionable for Monday night. I thought he was definitely going to be back by this week. And it's so hard for fantasy, for gambling, everything, just because, you don't know what games are going to play.
I got the jumbo dog, bro. I got the jumbo dog.
Stizz likes those footlongs.
Hey, listen, that one hot dog won't fill my cavity.
Yeah, and Tommy, I think the Chargers can beat the Saints. Yeah, I mean, look, Herbert's playing good.
I do too.
I don't get the line. I think that's very high. Me and Stizz talked about that this week, especially with Michael Thomas being questionable. I mean, look, it is a big game for the Saints. They're 2-2, and I think they obviously see the Bucs lose this week, want to take advantage of that, and tie them because they had the tiebreaker, obviously, because they beat them head-to-head. So, but anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday, man. Yeah. And it really is true. And people hate, I know it's a cliche, but who thought the Eagles were going to win last week besides Nevada Nick and is it Steve is his name?
Yeah, Steve Stubb is his name.
Stubb. Me and Stubb. We were the only two schmoes that had the balls to go on the line and say, "Give me those birds, baby."
Hey, listen, the sun shines on the dog's ass once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, broken clock's wrong twice a day. So
Yeah.
even Nevada Nick's going to be, although Nevada Nick's, he's usually right. So Coach will tell you, he knows. Coach can't pick his nose.
We know.
What about Diggs on Tuesday night? Brian, I think that game might be in jeopardy right now. What would you? Because I heard there was another. The Bills are playing the Titans, right?
Yes.
I heard there was another positive this morning, so that game might not happen.
Well, that's a game where you got to stick Diggs in your flex spot as a just in case, and hopefully you have a player at 4:00 or tonight's game or tomorrow night's game that you can fill in for Diggs if they do in fact say that game is going to be canceled.
Right.
So put him in your flex. Look at your lineup. Make sure you have somebody to put in first of all. If you don't have anybody to put in, I don't know, man. I don't think I would take the chance of keeping Diggs in there because I really don't think that game goes forward with all these COVID cases coming up. I really don't.
No, I don't either. I don't think they're going to take the risk. But then once again, what do you do now? Titans haven't played the last 2 weeks. How are you going to fit that in the schedule?
I know.
I think we may see a forfeit. I really do. There's rumors the Titans practice the next day after this guy tested COVID positive. I think the NFL may make an example of him and say, I don't know which game they'll pick, but I think they're going to say, look, you're going to forfeit. And maybe it might be the Bills, and now the Bills go 5-0 because and what would have been a tough game? The Titans are a good, gritty team. Derrick Henry, the defense is good. Tannehill's playing well. It's a shame. I was looking forward to watching that Tuesday. Hopefully it still holds. But man, I don't know how right now. You know what I mean? It's not looking good, obviously.
Yeah, and I don't.
We don't promote negativity on this show. So you're just putting you out on warning. We don't want to have to ban you, but you got all that negative stuff. Okay.
No, we don't want to see that though. That would be the icing on the cake for a shit year. You know what I mean? It really, that would be. You know what though, too, Mike. Though you're giving them a tie. Some of these teams, Bills and Titans is different, but yeah, you could do that. But then teams will bitch like, well, one of them could have lost, and you're giving them a tie. And I know Eagles fans, we were all pissed that they tied the Bengals, but now that's the reason we're in first place. Because they got a tie instead of a loss. So as crazy as it is, it can be the difference. And it's happened before. There was one other year we played the Bengals. I believe it was on Thanksgiving. I could be wrong. But they tied the Bengals, and then we went to the playoffs that year. We ended up going to the
playoffs. Because remember, McNabb said, I thought we were playing another overtime.
Exactly. And they ended up going on a run and winning the division by a half a
Number 5 loves you. Number 5 loves you. Idiot. Yeah, I think they're going to do anything they can not to shut this season down. Multi-billion dollar industry. They're going to do whatever they can, whether they have to extend the season by 2 weeks or whatever.
So, I don't know. So Nick, you got your picks? You want to get into your picks?
Yep, that works for me, Coach. All right, you ready? All right, ready. Okay. So game number 1. I'm going to go to, and some people are going to think I'm nuts, obviously, but I really believe that, they haven't won a game yet. They're good offensively. The Panthers have won 2 games in a row, but I think the Falcons are going to come home today. I got the Falcons minus 2.5 in the first game. I just think, look, you got Matty Ice there still. They've lost a lot of close games. They do have some injuries. But I think they're going to find a way offensively today to get it together, score some points, get up on the Panthers, and get a win. Look, they look good against the Packers. They stopped them on a 4th and goal, and look, things just got out of hand. I mean, look, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's beating up on everybody right now. So I'm going to start off with the Falcons minus 2.5 against the Panthers. And then my second game, I'm going to go out to Cleveland. Indianapolis's defense is really, really good. This line opened up as the Colts being a 2.5-point favorite. Huge swing, a lot of Browns money. The Browns haven't beaten anybody yet. I don't like that Darius Leonard is out for the Colts today, but as Stizz said earlier, Chubb is out for the Browns, and Lamar Hunt still nursing an injury. I like the Colts +1. I really do. I think Cleveland is feeling themselves a lot right now. They're 3-1. They're beating the Cowboys. OBJ thinks he's great again. I think they're going to go and really struggle today. I think the Colts are going to win a low-scoring, tight game. I like the Colts +1. Like I said, I just think the Browns. I want to see more. I think they're a much improved team. I don't deny it, but I want to see more. I think the Colts are going to shut down that rushing game, and if you shut down their rush, Baker Mayfield's a different quarterback. He's really relied on that rushing game. And then I'm going to go to tonight's game. I am going to go with the Vikings. It's 7 in a lot of books. Buy the hook. Take it to 7.5. I know people are going to say you shouldn't bet against Russell Wilson, but let me tell you this: 9 of the 11 wins for the Seahawks last year were by 7 points or less. Vikings can run the ball. They have a good offense. Seattle's defense is not good. Jamal Adams out again this week. I mean, this year they beat New England by 5, Dallas by 7. Miami by 8, but that game should have been closer. They did obviously beat Atlanta by 13, but still, I think it's going to be a close game. I like the Vikings +7.5, and don't be surprised if the Vikings win this game outright. I just think this isn't a good spot for Seattle tonight, so take the Vikings +7.5. And then I'm going to go to a teaser for everybody. So this is a 2-team teaser. The Cowboys line is going down to 7.5. It was at like 9.5. I'm going to take the Cowboys down to 1.5. So Cowboys minus 1.5. And I'm going to put them with the Arizona Cardinals, who are playing the lowly Jets with Joe Flacco starting. So I'll take Cowboys -1.5, Cardinals -1. And then I'm also going to go, people are going to call me crazy, buy the hook, take the Cowboys straight -7 too. I like the Cowboys today. And look, they burned me the last 2 weeks, and they might burn me again. But I think what's going to happen today, I think that Cowboys offense is really going to come out on fire. They're going to get up 10 points, 2 touchdowns on the Giants and take that offense out of what it wants to do. And, you're going to be forced Daniel Jones into throwing the ball. So I like the Cowboys by the hook -7 as well. So that's Cowboys -1.5, Cardinals -1 teaser, and then take the Cowboys -7 straight too. And then like Coach is putting up, I also obviously had the Falcons -2.5, Colts +1, Vikings +7.5.
All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff from Nevada Nick, man.
I like it.
Oh, and then tonight too, they're making me nervous. They're making me really nervous. But I'm going to go with the Lakers tonight. I really got to think you're going to see an effort for them. The line's getting a little bit more reasonable. It's been 7.5. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think the Lakers, they know they don't want to go to Game 7. You don't want that. And then all the pressure's on them. So take the Lakers. They're -5. Buy the hook. Take it to 4.5 just in case. A lot of these games have been close. So I'm going to go Lakers -4.5 tonight.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I agree with you. No Game 7. They want to put them away now.
Yeah, I don't know who Chris is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably up on the theme.
Yeah. I don't know. But we're up against it, man. Good stuff. Great show today, guys. Good stuff. You got it. All your stuff from your girl's fantasy consultant there, Stizz. Thanks for joining us, buddy. And, of course, Nevada Nick's, these locks are in. So,
real quick, Coach,
go ahead.
Before we get off the air, I'm just going to give you that prop bet for the week.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
No problem. We had a few minutes. No problem at all. We get into it, and then, we have such a good time, we forget, a couple things. But I gave you Ryan Fitzpatrick last week the over on passing yards. That was a winner. Brought me to 2-1 on the season. I forgot the first week I didn't have any prop bets, but I did take Kyler Murray over 23.5 touchdown passes. Patrick Mahomes over 35.5 touchdown passes. 2-1 since then. This week I'm going Cooper Kupp. I'm laying 150 on Cooper Kupp over 4.5 receptions today against the Washington Redskins. Going against tough defense on the road, but he's your main weapon there. And that's my take for that. Cooper Kupp over 4.5 receptions.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll recap a little bit, and the captain will be with us supposedly, and we'll get into some college football tomorrow and recap these games. So, all right, everybody, enjoy some football. Watch the Giants win, the Eagles lose. It'll be a great day, great Monday. So everyone have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out.
He's going to go up his computer desk. Go ahead, Coach.